Time for NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on Stratosphere Pole Day. Well, it's turned out to be a gorgeous day. The temperature never got to 70 as expected to both Saturday and Sunday. The wind has abated somewhat. It was as high as 26 miles an hour earlier, but it's just been beautiful, clear skies all day. So we're getting set to run for the pole here at Las Vegas. With Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds, I'm Mike Joy. This is the second week for NASCAR's new qualifying procedure in the Sprint Cup Series, where the fastest lap in practice gets you what is believed to be the best qualifying position down at the bottom of the list. And in practice, Darrell, NASCAR took some steps to make sure people weren't stepping over the line to get a really quick lap in practice.
We sort of felt like that eventually these teams would say, okay, if this is how they're going to do it, here's how we're going to react to it. And already we saw that today. You know, like you said, all you need is that one fast lap, and there's all kind of, you know, get your car a little too low, get the spoiler down a little bit, all the little things you can do to the car to make it go fast for one lap. Apparently, there may have been some people.
They were suspecting that.
Yes, there may have been some people down there that were having a little fun in games today.
Maybe just a little, we'll see. But now, Roush Fenway Racing has 7 poles here across NASCAR's top 3 series, 1 cup pole, and Larry, they pretty thoroughly dominated practice.
But we've been seeing this coming slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. It started at the end of 2010. It has bled right into 2011. They have their act together as a group, not just one of the teams, 2 of the teams, all 4 teams. David Reagan in the 6 car right up there near the top of the chart. So I think that this is going to be a good racetrack for them, as it has been in the past, and could be a good day as far as qualifying, because all 4 of them go right at the end of the top 35 guys.
And the one spoiler from the Ford parade at the front, Juan Pablo Montoya's Chevrolet snuck into the top 5 in practice. But that was just practice. Nobody wins practice, right?
Wrong.
We'll see. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Vegas, brought to you by eHarmony.com. eHarmony, love begins here. And by Toyota. So to review the procedure, from slowest to fastest in practice among the top 35, and then from slowest to fastest among the go or go homers, there are 9 of them for 8 positions. Getting ready to qualify. Let's get downstairs to Matt.
Mike, second quick in practice, tried to deliver a pole, his first ever in his Sprint Cup Series career, is David Reagan. So to quote that movie that should have won an Oscar, Spaceballs, are we going to see ludicrous speed here this afternoon as temperatures come down?
If that sun will just keep easing down, there'll be some more speed. I love this new format for qualifying. You know, in the years past, the 6 car, man, we went out 6th this race a year ago, and that's a big factor. You know, that's a 10th or 2 either way, and if you can get another 10th, sometimes that's a difference between a pole and a top 10. So our UPS car is fast, and man, it feels so good to just unload and be in the ballpark.
And when you look over your shoulder, you see all the flags on top of the motorhomes in the infield. It looks to be now a headwind off of turn 2 versus a crosswind in practice. How's that going to change up things?
You know, it's still not blowing as hard, so I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. You always have a lot of wind here at Vegas anyway, and it's you know, it is what it is. I try not to get too complicated and studying the wind and the shadows and praying for a cloud to
You don't hang out with Larry Mack a lot, do you?
Yeah, I know some of our guys do. Drew, he'll be stressing out for a cloud, but there's not a cloud in the sky here. So, you know, we're fortunate. We've got a very fast race car. All the Fords look good. Man, everyone at Roush Fenway back at the shop, our R&D department, our chassis shop, everyone's worked hard, and it's finally paying off. So one of the Fords are going to sit on the pole, and hopefully it's a UPS car.
The Ford definitely was fast in practice, Krista. His best ever start in Sprint Cup, 4th at Martinsville a few years ago.
Well, Matt, someone who has other ideas about a Ford sitting on the pole is last year's pole sitter, Kurt Busch, and you were on the front row the year before that. You've always started really well here at your home track, but haven't had that win. Where do you rank this in terms of tracks you want to get a win at?
Oh, it's in the top 5. Everybody, you know, they want to win Daytona. Got Indianapolis, and then for me and Kyle, we got Vegas, but I think a lot of guys really enjoy coming here and trying to put this on their mantle. It's just one of those marquee events that you want to win.
And how was practice different than maybe other times we've been at Vegas? Are you anticipating a different type of qualifying today or even a race on Sunday?
Well, we got a big mess going on with our little program right now. Our Pennzoil Ultra Dodge has been struggling through the bumps. Whatever those Fords have got, Roush has definitely figured it out because you can see it across the board with their speed. So we've gone actually back to what we ran last March because we're lost for ideas right now. So we'll see how we shake out. We're just going to give it our best, and hopefully the double deuce will be close to the front.
All right. Thanks, Kurt.
Kurt Busch is the track record holder at 188.7 miles per hour. Most veteran observers, that means the two to my right, think that track record could well fall this afternoon. Stay with us.
Going down today.
Tomorrow, the Rolex Sports Car Series thunders into South Florida for their second event of the season. Live from Homestead tomorrow at noon Eastern, only on Speed. Let's join Krista.
Mike, one of the guys who stayed out on the West Coast between Phoenix and coming here to Vegas is David Gilliland, because you were doing a little sand dune racing and you already had an adventure.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun out there. We broke down, got kind of stranded out there. Anytime you go out to the desert, it's an adventure. So we had a lot of fun, got to relax a little bit, and now we're back to work. We got a new sponsor on the car, TM1, and we're excited to have those guys back on board, and hopefully we can have our talk about Ford Fusion faster today. I feel good about qualifying. We made some good changes, and hopefully we pick up here a little bit.
When we talked to you last week, too, you said coming off of Daytona, guys were coming up to you in the garage saying, way to go. Are you getting more of that even every week?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I mean, I think Front Row Motorsports as a whole is more competitive this year, and you know, you find yourself racing with different people on the racetrack and everything else, and you know, people that look at how we ran last year, you know, it's different than how we're going to run this year, and so it's going to take time, but yeah, definitely, you know, Daytona was a big shot in the arm for everybody at Front Row Motorsports and myself, and I really noticed it a lot out there on the racetrack.
A few days ago, he was stranded in the desert. He's looking for a fast lap today, Mike.
Thanks, Krista. I wonder how you get kinda stranded.
Well,
I guess that's when you kinda, he must not have had Sprint. Maybe he had kinda cell phone service.
That means someone knows where you kinda are.
And they can kinda find you.
Kinda find out where you.
You heard David Reagan talking about a little more shade, and if we look down here to turn 1 and 2, that was it we're looking at right there. There's billboards there, and those billboards are actually shading a lot of turn 1 and 2. Now, I don't think that turn 3 will ever see any shade during this qualifying session, but the more that gets shaded, the more grip it's going to have down there. But Daryl and I were talking earlier as we're looking at 3 and 4, you'll go through 1 and 2 so well, and it'll feel so good because it'll have more grip, as happened to Jeff Gordon in practice. That got him in trouble because when he got in 3 and 4, didn't have near the grip that he had in 1 and 2.
I just believe you're a man of constant sorrow if all you do is walk around looking for clouds in the sky.
Clouds and shadows. Krista?
Something's not right about that.
Well, the sun is shining right now, and Clint Boyer, what is going on? These Fords have been so fast in practice. I know you guys were watching them. I can tell by your face right now, you're a little disgusted by that.
Yeah, who wants to get beat by a Ford? But no, they're doing a good job. You know, they're on top of their game. They're getting through those bumps better than everybody else. I don't know what they're doing to get through them bumps better, but at the end of the day, the cars that are getting through those bumps are the ones that are running well. So we've worked on ARCA a little bit. The Wheaties Fuel Chevrolet was a little bit off in practice, but that's what's good about practice. You get to learn from those mistakes, and hopefully we've corrected a problem and be good here.
And is that the biggest issue, is the bumps in this racetrack? It's not anything new or different or the wind, it's the bumps?
It sure seems like it. I mean, the track's so fast. You know, it carries so much momentum into those bumps. These things want to be sealed off and right down on the ground, and anytime that gets disrupted, it gets that air underneath that splitter, you know, you just slide up and you have to wait on it. Wait till it lands and get pointed the right direction before you get to the gas. It's just that split second, but if you look how close everybody is, that's all it takes.
Thanks, Clint.
All right, as Tony Raines hits the racetrack, he'll be our first qualifier. A quick review. 5 of the 6 fastest cars in practice were Fords, led by Matt Kenseth. Montoya, third, was the fastest Chevrolet. Brad Keselowski was the fastest Dodge, 9th, and Joey Logano, the quickest Toyota, 10th, as Tony Raines is our first qualifier.
But, you know, normally you say, well, they got a horsepower advantage or they got an aero advantage. They don't have none of that. They get through the bumps. They got some advantage that they figured out setup-wise to get them through the bumps.
And there they are, right in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That car porpoises just a little bit for Tony Raines. Off the corner on his first time lap, and we think the first lap will be the money lap.
Yeah, because the further you go, you're going to lose more and more grip with the tires. Actually, we anticipate our top 35 guys in particular that are locked in the show, that they'll probably only take one lap of the 2 that's out there.
So the race fuel energy drink Ford of Tony Raines at 30.45, 177.2 miles per hour.
Picked up about a 10th from what he ran in practice earlier today.
Yeah, looks like he's going to play too.
Yeah, I think you're going to be surprised. A lot of guys will.
Okay.
I think it depends on your tire setup. Depends on how much air you got in your tires. You go for that first one, get it done, or you take it easy on the first one and try to do it on the second one. It depends on your philosophy about qualifying.
And Raines runs identical laps within the 100th of a second. Travis Kvapil up next, then Andy Lally and Robbie Gordon as we begin pole qualifying in Las Vegas. Sunday, the biggest pre-race show in NASCAR. Jimmy, Kurt, and Tony live. Jeff's big win last week. Rutledge and Bad Brad go looking for fun in Sin City. Oh my goodness, it's NASCAR Raceway built by the Home Depot. 12:30 Eastern live on Speed. Andy Lally making his first NASCAR start at Las Vegas. Ran 7 Cup races last year. The Eco Fuel Saver Chevy for the 3-time Grand Am champion.
Caught up in wrecks the first 2 races of 2011 at Daytona and at Phoenix last week. He ran a 30.06 earlier in practice.
This is the track where this team got its first ever top 20 finish in Cup, so they're very excited about the chance to come here and try to back that up. Andy's first lap 30.098, so he is quickest at 179.4 miles an hour.
Right on top of his practice speed, so he can possibly pick it up on his second lap. I think he should be able to.
You know, Darrell, another thing that we've not mentioned, this is kind of an unusual schedule here. Track has sat for over 2 hours in the heat of the sun, especially in 3 and 4. And when that happens, you really don't want to be one of the first few cars to go out there and run. The oils have just pulled up from the asphalt.
And that's a common occurrence everywhere we go. Anytime a racetrack sets for an hour or 2 before qualifying, it affects the track that way.
Lally's second lap is slower, so the first will be the lap of record.
Yeah, well, watch this see what the pattern is here. Tony Raines' laps were identical. Lally slowed down a 10th. We'll see how that unfolds as we go along here on his second lap.
Robbie Gordon due out next. That car's, or Travis Kvapil due out next, then Robbie Gordon. Let's see who's going. It's like drag race. It's a race to see who can be the last to stage, you know. Something's running, and it's Robbie.
It's not like Robbie to wait long.
No, he's an impatient man.
That's right, he's very impatient. If you're not going, get out of the way.
The Speed Energy Drink Dodge of Robbie Gordon, whose best start and finish in Las Vegas, 12th.
See, there are 3 career wins. A lot of people maybe don't realize Robbie drove for Richard Childress Racing for a few years and got 3 wins, a couple on road courses. He now, speaking of winless streaks, 250 races since he last went to Victory Lane back in 2003.
Which does not lead the league. It's second, but it's not the highest one. We'll let you ponder that one for a while.
Oh boy, here we go. Gonna tell us tomorrow?
No, but I'll tell you when he qualifies in about 8 more drivers, okay? Krista.
Casey Kane hanging out by his race car, and I know you guys overcame a lot of adversity last week to finish strong in Phoenix. What are you looking for here qualifying here at Vegas?
Well, just to get through the bumps. We've kind of struggled a little bit getting through the hole in turn 1. It's pretty violent, so it throws the car around and get tight or loose, whatever it may be. Other than that, I felt like our Red Bull Toyota was pretty close. If we can just get through that hole, I think we can pick up a lot of speed pretty quick. So we were 21st in practice. I think we can do a lot better than that, depending on the track.
Okay, thanks, Casey. And he said violent, Mike. That's how we describe those bumps.
Wow. And Robbie Gordon is the 3rd driver to take away the pole. He at 29.76. That's how we expect this to work. Gordon is quickest. Travis Kvapil is next. 3 drivers have qualified so far. Each has been quicker than the driver before him. Robbie Gordon is the pole sitter right now at 29.76. And this is Travis Kvapil, the Truck Series champion of 8 years ago. 4 races here in the Cup Series. 1 top 10 start, 1 top 10 finish.
In theory, we should have a new pole sitter every time somebody goes on the racetrack.
Correct.
In theory.
You talked about Travis being the Truck Series champion from a number of years ago. He actually won the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race here in 2007 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Time to beat 29.76. Looks like he's 1 spot away, but within about 3 100ths, 4 100ths now, as you see right there. And that gap climbs just a little bit. 29.85. Kvapil is second of 4 in the Long John Silver's Ford.
It's a half a second pickup from what he ran in practice.
Now he's on it. Now he's on track for pole. And you see that number in the blue block down there is A-, meaning he is quicker than the fastest lap so far.
This is where if you adjust your tires to run 2 laps, then you've got a good shot at picking up.
Had a little loose coming off 4, and he's not going to get it. 29.79. Robbie Gordon holds on to it by 2 100ths.
I think it was just that little bit in turn 4 that just cost him that roughly about a half a tenth from sitting on it.
But that's where you're going to lose grip. On the second lap, turns 3 and 4, most time coming off 4, you're going to lose a little grip in the tires, and you're going to get one of those, just that little bobble. That's all it takes.
Catch and pitch. Pitch and catch.
Krista?
Well, I'm going to take that pitch and catch it and talk to Jeff Burton, who had 2-time back-to-back winner here at this racetrack. But everyone's talking about those bumps, Jeff. How bad are they?
It seems like the track's a little rougher this time than it's been in the past, or we haven't been here for a while. We're not used to it. One of the two. So, you know, I think you're going to see some people try to qualify above the bumps in 1 and 2. But it's rougher than I remember it being all the way around the racetrack. The worst ones are obviously in the middle of 1 and 2, but there's a lot of bumps that are spread out around the racetrack. Again, some of it might be we just don't remember how rough it was, but I do think it's a little rougher.
Short-term memory.
Thanks, Krista. David Gilliland, the Taco Bell Ford, did some off-road racing, as he talked about during the week between Phoenix and here. Carrying the number 34, that was the number of NASCAR's Jackie Robinson. Wendell Scott, 50 years ago today, drove in his first ever race in what's now the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, a race at Spartanburg, South Carolina. Most of Scott's races were run in car number 34, and he ran nearly 500 of them and won 1. So today we salute Wendell Scott, and hopefully soon he's a candidate for the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Show you how fast you're going here, Larry. I just noticed the hood on that car is really caved in a little bit. They may want to take a look at that on the right side over there.
New sheriff in town, 29.507. It comes down by a quarter of a second.
So over on that right side over there.
You can definitely see where it's pulling that hood down, and that definitely disturbs the aerodynamics.
That just tells you how, I mean, they're running 200 mile an hour down that back straightaway, so it's getting down through there, right at it.
And he's quicker on lap 2. Good run for Gilliland. No, 29.64. He was quicker until that exit of turn 4, same as his teammate.
Just a little bit off 4. But David's been doing an awesome job in this car. I mean, he's had 2 great races. Come home the way he did at Daytona. Got through Phoenix pretty good. Pretty good shape.
Sitting 10th in the points right now after 2 races.
On Sunday, all the cars in the race will carry a sticker commemorating the career of Wendell Scott. There's one of those number 34s that he ran out of Danville, Virginia. A great racer. At the time, underfunded. Used a lot of hand-me-down cars and parts. And I don't think at the time, Darrell, many people in the sport understood just how much he was able to accomplish with so little in the turbulent times in which he raced.
There's a lot of stories about Wendell and how he survived, and I always remember the time at Nashville when he got to the track and he took the engine out of the tow truck. He blew the engine in the race car, took the engine out of the tow truck, put it in the race car, ran the race.
Wow.
Didn't start and park, ran the race, put the engine, when the race so with, middle of the night, took the engine out of the race car, put it back in the tow truck so he could get home.
My gosh.
Always had a lot of family help.
Yes.
And just a sweet man, really nice.
So here is Kurt Busch, the track record holder in the Pennzoil Ultra Dodge, looking to break his own track record of 28.614.
You could hear the concern in his interview a while ago that he's not real sure what he's got here. You could see it just get sideways off turn 4, but it's good enough to go to the top of the chart. Not a track record, but 29.03.
Well, the way the car looked, and he didn't, I'm sure he's not, I know he's not happy with the car, and the way the car looked, particularly off of 4, that's a great lap.
You know, Mike, 10 starts, he's never started outside the top 10. That might be a little borderline on that today.
It's race time at Walmart. From official gear to snacks for race day, you'll find everything you need. Gear up, stock up, save. 6 drivers on the clock. Kurt Busch is the fastest at 29.03. Here is Clint Boyer, driving the Wheaties Fuel Chevrolet for Richard Childress. Started 13th last year. His best start at Las Vegas in 5 appearances. Second on lap 1. 29.17.
Yeah.
Picked up about 2/10 from practice, but 7 drivers. I think we've had 5 different pole sitters in those 7 drivers.
Correct.
Just loose. It didn't hit and it was loose.
Think we'll hear that a lot today?
Oh, I think so. These tires seem to be like maybe for a lap or 2. They don't just get a lot. They don't have a lot of instant grip, and when you go out there taped up trying to put on a fast lap, you're going to be a little loose.
Last week's winner, Jeff Gordon. Here's Kristen.
Mark Martin discussing some things with Casey Kane. Sorry to interrupt, but we wanted to talk to you about your car. I know you talked about it was pushing off of 4 in practice. Did you guys figure that out or get the car where you want it to be?
Well, you know, we need to pick up a little bit more speed, but I'd really like to get a good, extra good qualifying lap here for this team. They worked really hard today in a short amount of time. I couldn't believe the wrenches that were slinging in the garage, and we started out extremely loose in race trim, and then when we got that about fixed, then we went to qualifying trim and we were extremely tight. So a little off on speed, but you know, we'll go out here and hope to get us a magic lap here, and we got an hour and 15 minutes tomorrow, and love this racetrack, and I look forward to it.
You've had a lot of success here, Mike.
It's true. Thanks, Krista. David Rudiman started and finished 4th here in 2009. Both of his wins came on 1.5-mile racetracks, but oh my goodness, Darrell.
I didn't even want to look because I thought he was gone, man.
You see that right there, though, when he went off into turn 1, 202.
He was trucking, and the car's just loose. And one thing I'll say for David Rudiman, he will hang on to it and get you a lap.
He's coming back. He had dropped way down past 5th, 6th, 7th. Brings it right back up the board to 2nd at a 29.10.
And that was really ugly in turn 1.
Matt?
Mike, a wild qualifying effort by Kurt Busch. So the human stopwatch portion of you, how much did you lose off turn 4 when you had it sideways?
Yeah, it felt like I wanted to hold it down, but I lost so much speed getting it to the apex at 3 and 4 that I was like, man, I just better hold it down and see if I can't shorten up the racetrack. Just been struggling all day getting it through the bumps. We did a lot better on that run with our Pennzoil Ultra. It's cool to have a different paint scheme on right away with these Shell Pennzoil guys, and nothing's closer to factory clean than Pennzoil Ultra. So I love these guys. They're a great sponsor, and we'll see where that stacks up. We hurt ourselves by struggling through practice because we had to go out early in this session. So we'll see how much the track cools down.
Thanks, Kurt.
All right.
Well, I'm holding Trevor Bayne's new bio sheet, and it's a little longer, Darrell, than the one you held up at the end of the 500.
Yeah, 2 lines.
It's got 2 lines on it for the 2 races he has run this year for the Wood Brothers.
You know, you talked earlier today about Trevor Bayne Day at Knoxville last Monday, and there's a company called Rising Sports Stars, and what they do, they evaluate more than 45,000 athletes and celebrities, and Trevor Bayne was at the top of their list in March as a rising sports star. Over 45,000 athletes evaluated.
Andy Jeffers, who works with us on the telecast, told me earlier that they had a high school choir come and sing as part of the Trevor Bayne Day celebration. Thought that looked a little odd until he learned Trevor Bayne sang in that high school choir.
Wow.
And he's about to be singing the song of a man who's going to the top of the chart right here.
He got a little high off turn 4, but he's still carrying some pretty good speed right there.
Car looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
He is our new pole sitter, 28.95. That beats Kurt Busch by 8/100ths as the speeds continue to increase, and he wants another.
Where is Donnie Wingo when we need him? The crew chief for Trevor. I believe I'd be on that radio and say, that's a pretty good lap there.
You just can't stop a 20-year-old. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Second lap, a little slower, but that's okay. He's top of the chart right now.
29.11. That's a good pickup in practice. That's about a half a second. Good pickup.
I'd say so. Trevor Bayne is quickest. Bobby Labonte and Dale Jr. next. Harry Gant's here. He's going to be on trackside tonight along with hometown hero Kurt Busch. NASCAR trackside 8:30 Eastern, only on Speed. Harry told me, you're going to need to ask him this, Darrell. He told me at lunch last year, he says, when Mark Martin's ready to retire, let me know.
Is he going to come back?
Yeah, he might. Now here is Bobby Labonte in the Kingsford Charcoal Bush's Baked Beans 47. He's going to be third quickest at a 29.08. And he is the holder of the longest over streak among Cup drivers right now at 254 races.
Homestead Miami Speedway in 2003. You saw the same thing I saw, that his little strategy in 1 and 2, didn't you, Darrell?
He's not going to mess with those bumps. I can tell you that. There aren't any bumps up next to the wall, and that's where he went in 1 and 2. He avoided that.
Actually, it worked out pretty good based on what the stopwatch is telling.
Not a bad lap.
Second lap slower by 0.2. So Labonte stands third, and Trevor Bayne remains on pole. Matt?
Well, Mike, he's dropped down to third, but on the positive side, you said you felt like the attitude of the car has picked up from practice.
Yeah, we were a lot better. That we got off in practice with a temp to it, and just couldn't really, the first qualifying run we made was pretty good, and then after that we just couldn't seem to get the car tightened up enough, and then the car was tighter, but still, we're going to suffer a little bit here, going out early, and it's going to get a little cooler, and the track's going to get faster, so we're still not going to have a very good qualifying position, but in the end we made the car better. We had a big pickup. We just didn't pick up as much as we needed to.
Always looking at the positive. Krista?
Well, Trevor Bayne won the Daytona 500 and then spun in practice at Phoenix. Jeff Gordon wins the race at Phoenix and then makes things interesting here at practice. What happened?
Just a little bit looser than I thought it was going to be. Car felt really good getting in the corner, and I got into the gas and it didn't stick. So luckily we didn't hit anything with the DuPont Chevrolet, and slowed us down a bit, and we've been playing catch up, but right there at the end I thought we made some big gains for qualifying, and looking forward to seeing what kind of lap we can lay down. I mean, you got to be very aggressive right now with these conditions, and last year we were able to do that, and look forward to that challenge again here today.
I like the challenge and back in the familiar DuPont colors.
You can see all that tape over here on the windshield on his on the inside of the windshield there. He's anticipating that sun being in his eyes a little bit as he goes down the front here.
Jeff goes out 17th, right in the middle of the pack of cars guaranteed in the race.
There's another guy, Larry, that decided he wasn't going to play bumps.
Yep, got above him down in 1 and 2.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., the National Guard Chevy, with 2 runner-up finishes here and 2 second-row starts, 3 second-row starts at this racetrack.
He got pretty happy with the feel of his race car in practice, but still, when it was all said and done, he was only 25th quickest.
So taking the long way around in turn 1 will get you 29.35, 6th fastest.
And he's about the first one to actually slow down from practice. I don't remember seeing him run that high, though.
No, he didn't. He went through those bumps when he ran good in practice.
Coming up, Brian Vickers, Kevin Harvick, and Mark Martin. Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Las Vegas brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. And by freecreditscore.com. Get your score. Brian Vickers in the Red Bull Toyota, our next qualifier. He did race here last year, started and finished 31st, and his first lap is second quickest by 3/100ths.
Car looks good. I mean, he ran high in 1 and 2 to get above the bumps. I think I get a little push off of 4 here might hurt him quite a bit.
And And second verse, same as the first.
Same.
Here's Matt with the man who is fastest.
Mike, unlike Daytona and Phoenix, the only issue before the field set, someone pulled a fire alarm last night at your hotel. So describe your qualifying effort. Impressive.
It's not bad for us, man. These guys went to work on our Ford Motorcraft Fusion over here and really worked some wonders on it from our practice runs to qualifying runs. And I got to watch some video of what the other drivers were doing because our Ford teammates are really fast, which they go out at the end, which kind of stinks for us because now we're just sitting ducks here waiting to watch them go. But, man, I'm pumped about it. I didn't expect to be that fast. When they called out my time, I was like, wow, because we got tied up off the corner over there, had to get out of the gas a little bit to wait on it to turn. So I'm happy with it, though, man. It's a good start for us. We're still learning, but Donnie Wingo and all these guys are working really well for me.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. I think they're still high from the Daytona 500 win, and who wouldn't be?
You know, I was so afraid that he'd get down after what happened to him in Phoenix, but you can see right now that Daytona 500 is going to carry him all the way through this year, probably.
I'll say, when you won the Daytona 500, you were up for the first half of the season.
I could always could always look back and say, yeah, but I won the Daytona 500.
That's right.
And I'm sure there's a button you can push, but I just don't know if I could see him down on anything, about anything.
Got a good attitude, that boy does.
Kevin Harvick, 202 into the corner.
Woo. You can see the cause and effect. The bumps cause it, and the steering wheel getting juked around is the effect.
Ran second here last year in the race, or finished second, that is.
The real problem with those bumps, if you go through there, and I think a couple of drivers that they've touched on this, if your car is pushing, it just makes it push worse.
And his is.
And then if you're loose, you just get looser as you go through those bumps. The car just starts chattering.
So 29.11 is the lap for Harvick. That is sixth fastest. And here's Kristen.
Mike, for the last 3 years, a Busch brother has sat on the pole. Will we make it 4 in a row?
Kurt already went out. So I'm going out earlier than I'd like to be going out with this new inverted system. So I don't know. It's tough. We'll see what we can have out there. You know, the Snickers PB squared card wasn't that great in practice, and not really getting the speed we want to off the corners today. So unfortunately, I would have to say that it might just be a Roush car today. So I'm hoping not, but you know, being realistic about it, we'll give it everything we got.
Well, it's Vegas. You don't always bet on the odds.
Yeah, roll the dice. Roll the dice.
and of course the beads have got to help. PB squared is a kind of peanut butter. Matt?
Brian Vickers currently second. So which end of the racetrack did you have the most difficulty?
Well, the car was actually good in both of them. I left a little bit on the table, 1 and 2. I apologize to the guys. Huge gain in the car. We were happy with it in a race trim. We went to qualifying trim. We were kind of rushed. We didn't get as many runs we wanted, and I wasn't really happy with the car at all. They made some changes, and I went out there. The car was awesome. I didn't even need to go to the bottom in 1 and 2. I was trying to run high. I could have carried more speed, but I feel like I got most of it at 3 and 4 and got a little bit more of the second lap, but should be a good starting spot.
Thanks, Matt. Mark Martin won the opener here, the first Cup race that was held in 1998. Has one second row start here at Las Vegas.
He's one of the ones that got up 200 miles an hour going into turn 3 there.
He was wassing around a good bit down there in 1 and 2, but I don't think it hurt him that much the way he went down the back.
Listen to the crowd. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
28.847. New pole sitter Mark Martin.
Just keep creeping closer and closer to that track record.
We're going to be on top of it, Larry.
A little piece of something down in turns 1 and 2. It's not so little.
If that were a piece of rubber, that almost looks like an oil dry sump belt, pump belt, but that might just be a small piece of metal off of something. Boy, what the heck is
I'm
that?
not sure what it is. I don't think it's an oil pump.
No,
belt,
I don't see any.
It did have a little bit of a look.
Doesn't have any teeth. No teeth. It's just a piece of
something that shouldn't be there.
Looks like a piece of weather stripping, maybe.
Oh. Casey Kane will be the 15th driver to qualify. He has 2 poles here. Both came in driving Dodges and a second place finish. First time here in a Toyota as he moves to Team Red Bull for this season, and he's got a handful.
That's coming to take the green
right.
to turn 3 and 4.
Tell you what, got through there pretty darn good.
Yeah, you could hear it. I mean, he just breathed the throttle back a little bit and right back to it wide open.
Just not quite carrying the speed he's going to need.
Car looks like it's handling awful well, though.
Yeah, you're right. It just no speed in it. He's just barely going to crack the top 10.
9th at a 29.27 for Casey Kane. The Jeffs are next, Burton and Gordon. Jeff Burton in the Caterpillar Chevrolet of Richard Childress, who won twice in a row here for Roush Racing, is 4th quickest at a 29.02. He is the 2nd fastest Chevrolet. Mark Martin is fastest, Trevor Bayne, Brian Vickers, Jeff Burton, and Kurt Busch. At least one of each make in the top 5 right now. Matt?
Mark Martin said, hurry up and get to me before I get bumped off the pole. You said you wouldn't want to do that qualifying effort again. How treacherous was it?
I wouldn't do that again. Just kudos to Lance McGrew and everybody on the GoDaddy.com crew. Man, they slung wrenches and were doing it in the garage area, putting on a show. We were off in practice, and they made it better every time we went out. And we were comfortable on the last run and slow. And usually, you know, to pick it up, you just got to buckle down and loosen it up. So I told them maybe they might free it up. I was leaving, and I didn't ask them, and they did. And I cheated death in 1 and 2, and I got down in 3 and 4, and my foot just started kind of bouncing off the floor a little bit. I couldn't quite hold it on the mat there. It was right rear was tracking outside to right front a little bit, and I was thinking this thing's gonna get backwards on me for sure. So. I wouldn't do it again if you gave me a chance. I'm tickled to death. That's going to be better than we practiced, and I'm just proud of these guys.
An elbows up performance by Mark Martin.
Absolutely.
And don't you know, you look over at Mark Martin, and 51 years old, and you look right across to him, right beside him right now, 20-year-old.
Yeah.
30 years. 30 years difference in their age.
Jeff Gordon won here 10 years ago today, and he is 2nd to Mark Martin, his Hendrick Chevrolet teammate. The DuPont Chevy at 28.89, 5/100ths difference.
Considering how his day started, backwards off turn 4, I'd say he'll be pretty happy with that.
Next, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin in the FedEx Ground Toyota of Joe Gibbs Racing, trying to improve on a previous best start here of 16th. He is 4th quickest at a 28.96. He is now the fastest Toyota. As 18 drivers have qualified, we're halfway through the cars that are locked into the field. And here comes next, not Jimmy Johnson, he's getting ready, but the driver who with his brother are the first brothers to lead the points, we believe, since 1951 in NASCAR, when Tim and Fonty Flock were 1-2. Herb Thomas ended up winning the title. But Kyle and Kurt Busch top the point standings, coming here to their hometown, a track where he's had 2 poles and 1 win over the last 3 seasons.
I thought this was really funny. I talked to Jeff Gordon this morning. This is Ella, his daughter's favorite car. And Papa beat her favorite car last Sunday. And she favorite car because she loves candy.
Loves M&M's car. You know, in 2001, Kyle made his debut here in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. He was only 16 years old. They didn't have an age limit back then, but it wasn't long after that he finished 9th that they did have an age limit of 18 for the Truck Series.
He's going to take the pole away from Mark Martin, it looks like, in the Snickers Peanut Butter Toyota.
He got down turn 4 to here pretty quick, I can tell you that.
You hear the partisan hometown crowd. For Kyle Busch, 28.79. He is the new pole sitter.
You know, you mentioned he won here from the pole a couple of years ago. He actually had to do that from the rear of the field because they changed engines that weekend. So we've drifted down into the 70s now.
We're getting there, buddy.
Matt?
and Jeff Gordon drops down a spot. Your teammate said he was flirting with disaster with his lap. How was yours?
Well, you know, I felt like Mark laid a pretty good lap down. I didn't think mine was flawless, so to come as close as we did to him, I was pretty happy. And then to see what Kyle just done. You know, with this new format, you just know cars are going to keep getting faster. But I like the pickup. You know, I like the grip the car had, and you know, it's been an interesting day for us. So I think we're going to end on a fairly positive note here, and I'm happy about that. You know, so we'll take it with the DuPont Chevrolet.
His day started with a spin. Currently looks very fast after his run in qualifying.
A.J. Allmendinger in the Best Buy Ford for Richard Petty Motorsports. 2 Cup starts here, neither memorable. Maybe this one. Good lap getting up to speed. And right now he's on pace for the pole.
Talked to AJ earlier today, and he said he felt like this track was going to be a huge measuring stick how they really stack up, because he has really struggled here ever since he started running here in 07.
Really feathered the throttle between 3 and 4. Going to be close. No, second, 28.83 for the Dinger.
Good job. Nice lap. Very confident. He likes his crew chief. They really communicate well together. Pretty happy right now.
Krista?
Joey Logano in practice was extremely loose. Listening to you on the radio, you talked about not being able to get any speed because you were so loose. Did you guys make the adjustments you need to?
Yeah, it seemed like our last qualifying run, we picked up a lot of speed, which is going to help us here for our qualifying spot. Going out late here seems to help. So hopefully it tries something similar to what we had there in the last run in practice, and you know, I can find a little bit, I think, in myself to find a little bit more speed. So I got a good Home Depot Toyota. You just got to get the balance just right.
Okay, thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Krista. The Rocket goes out next. There's his boss, Tony Stewart, getting ready to run. Brian Newman in the Haas Automation Chevrolet this week has only 1 pole here. He has 3 front row starts at this racetrack, but only 1 pole position set in Roger Penske's Dodge in 2005.
I'd like to be at the racetrack when Smoke and Lewis Hamilton trade cars. So, because Smoke's going to drive one of the Formula One cars, and Lewis Hamilton's going to drive his stock car. Remember when Montoya and Jeff Gordon did that up at Indy a few years ago, and of course Montoya ends up down here. So, what do you think?
Does it mean Lewis Hamilton's coming here?
I wonder.
Or does it mean Tony's going to go race Formula One?
Where are they actually going to do that, Darrell? What track?
Watkins Glen.
I believe it's Watkins Glen, Larry.
I think that's where it was.
And on that particular day that Montoya and Gordon did it, I promise you Gordon had a whole lot more fun than Montoya did.
Ryan's lap, 28.84, 187.2 miles an hour. That is the quickest Chevy so far, but it's 3rd overall. No pole today for the Rocket. Matt.
And catching up with Kyle Busch, and I like the way you characterize your qualifying run to your team. Turns 1 and 2 was like the pole run from a year ago. What about 3 and 4?
I wrecked. It got sideways, man. It was just crooked through the center at 3 and 4 there, but she held on somehow, and you know, it wasn't bad. Put up a good lap, so a lot better than we expected it to be, but still, I don't know. There's a lot of good cars left behind us to go here, so I wish I could make it 4 in a row for a Busch brother on the pole here, but you know, like I said, there's some good cars here left to go, and can't thank these guys enough on this you know, Snickers PB Squared Camry this weekend. They've done a nice job today, and we kind of struggled out the truck a little bit, but they've made some good changes to it. Dave and the guys, we talked quite a bit. Thankfully, I could spend some time with them. I didn't have to run back over to a Nationwide garage today. So
no hybrid.
Yeah, no hybrid this week. Denny's in the hybrid this weekend on the Nationwide side. So, like I said, we'll just see how it stacks up and see where it gets us.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah.
And the hybrid is the Interstate Batteries car. Don't worry, it runs on Sunoco race fuel just like all the others. Here's Jamie Mack in the McDonald Chevrolet, whose previous best effort here of 4th came in his first tour of duty for Chip Ganassi Racing, and that was a hamburger kind of ride right there.
It was ugly, but he stayed in the throttle and didn't really lose a whole lot of time right there.
Car looked like it's real tight off both corners.
5th fastest for Jamie Mack, 28.86. Hang on. 3rd, 4th, and 5th are separated by 4 1/1000ths, and right in their midst, 4th place, Martin Truex Jr., the Napa Toyota, 28.846 as the track picks up speed It is now fully shaded from the start-finish line to almost the exit of turn 2. Next up, 5-time. Introducing him in a press conference this morning, the track called him Lord of the Rings, Jimmy Johnson. He doesn't own this place, Bruton Smith does, but Johnson's got enough for a healthy down payment out of this place. 4 wins, a couple of third-place starts in the Lowe's Chevy.
Look pretty
good. He took the approach of running higher than the bumps and really carried the speed off the corner down the straightaway.
Yeah, but I don't like what I'm seeing right there, man. He was up the hill, and then when he tried to turn it down, got a little loose. Woo. Yeah, good job. Hung on to it.
Like Kyle Busch, he wrecked up there in 3 and 4, just didn't hit anything.
Yeah.
And Jimmy is 8th with a lap of 28.91.
He had his hands full. Once he got to turn 3 and trying to cut the thing down, he did a nice job of not losing it.
So last week, the title sponsor of the race car won the pole. This week, not quite.
Watch this. He gets in a little high right here. It's a little higher, and you want to get into 3. Right here, the back end sticking out, and he's trying to cut it to the bottom, and just really had his hands full right there. Corner entry, trying to get the thing to the bottom of the racetrack.
And it looked like he was trying his best not to yank or jerk the steering wheel.
I think it was that free, Larry. He just couldn't.
All right, Paul Menard will be next, Matt.
Mike, I think everybody down at Best Buy store 289 happy with that effort, but you kept saying, hurry up, get to me, because you wanted to be on the front row when we talked to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get my interview over here quick, but there's a lot of fast guys behind us, this new format. There's a lot of fast Fords. I was pretty bad that I was like 15th in practice, and I was the slowest Ford out of everybody. But, no, I mean, it was Best Buy Ford's been quick. Not my best racetrack, so race trim, the car felt awesome. Qualifying trim, we've been a little tight and just got a little bit tight again in 3 and 4, but all in all, fairly happy. Had some fun yesterday at store 289. Saw some dance moves from some guys out there. It was a lot of fun. I didn't show my skills.
Thank goodness.
But I'll save it for the racetrack on Sunday.
Allmendinger second right now. Paul Menard in the Menard Chevrolet had his hands full and brings it back in 11th place.
Well, just think about it. If the shade is over here in 1 and 2, where's the sun? I mean, it's still brightly shining on the 3rd turn there, particularly 3rd and 4th turn. And that's where the guys are getting speed, like Larry mentioned in the opening. You get through 1 and 2 much better now because there's more grip. Now you're sailing into 3 a little quicker than what you think.
Krista.
All right, this is what we've been waiting for, these Roush Fords, to see what they have. Everyone says it's going to be a Roush Ford on the pole, so let's do a little campaigning, Greg Biffle. Why is it going to be you?
Because this cool black posted 3M car looks so cool. I don't know, you know, it's whoever holds the gas down the longest, doesn't hit the racetrack too much, doesn't get a little bit loose like we saw the 48 car off of down there in the middle of 3 and 4. My car is a little bit tight there, one run, a little loose there, so it's going to take a perfect lap to be on top.
Hey, it's the Post-it car. Make this lap stick.
Oh. Well done. Well done.
She's going to join my brother at the Mirage tomorrow night.
She'll be appearing here all week. Joey Logano, the Home Depot Toyota. Top 10, 6th place start and finish here last year for Joey.
Pretty good looking lap, halfway down the back straightaway into 3.
Now he looks like he got in there pretty nicely, got it to the bottom.
Picked up a spot.
Here he comes. Looks like he's got a nice grip on the wheel, not really chopping on it much. Let's see what he does.
Great lap, great lap.
Wow, second fastest Toyota is Logano at a 28.82. Right now, it's an all Toyota front row.
The biggest thing this group wants to do is still be running at the checkered flag on Sunday. It's been a while.
You bet. Bad Brad and Regan Smith next. On track, Brad Keselowski in the Miller Lite Dodge, looking for his first top 10 start in this will be his 3rd Las Vegas appearance.
Dodge is not showing a lot of muscle here today in qualifying.
No, 14th for Keselowski, 16th for Kurt Busch, 29.02. Now that's only 0.2 of a second off pole, but it's in 14th place. Wednesday, the most talked about new car building show on TV. A team of pros, a team of amateurs in just 72 hours will build a tricked out El Camino from scratch. What could you accomplish in 72 hours? Nothing like these guys. You got to see it. Car Warriors, all new Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern on Speed. Matt?
Gibbs Toyota's looking strong now. You seemed a little disappointed, though, Joey, with the effort off turn 4.
Yeah, I felt like my 1 and 2 was awesome. That felt really good. And went into 3, got down in there good, picked up the gas, and started picking up a little bit of a push. And I didn't get it down as aggressive as I thought I should have. I think if I held it wide open, I probably wouldn't have hit the wall. I don't think I would have, but you never know. But yeah, still good run for us here. You know, we'll get a decent starting spot with that and go from there. You know, I still think I got a really good Home Depot Toyota. Just felt like I guess could have maybe had a little bit more, and that would have been right where we needed to be.
Regan Smith is on a flyer. He was 204 miles an hour into the corner in the Furniture Row Chevy.
One reason for that is he went in a corner really, really high. So he really was able to arc it in there with a lot of speed.
He and Jamie McMurray have identical laps, 28.864. Tied for 7th as we move into the fastest 7 drivers in practice. Krista?
Down here with Carl Edwards and Bob Osborne, his crew chief, giving him some final words of advice. And, you know, Carl actually has had a very busy day. Not only are you going for the pole, but did you take part in a wedding earlier today?
I was the best man in Bill and Tammy Ford's wedding.
But this was not planned.
This was not planned. I ran into him in the media center. They had all this Carl Edwards gear on. I was like, hey, cool, nice to meet you guys. I said, what are you all doing? They said, we're getting married. And they said, you want to be the best man? So I walked out there and had a great service. And it was really cool. All the it's in Victory Lane. All the fans got into it, and it reminded me of how lucky I am to be married to Kate. And I had a lot of fun. It was really cool.
And a pole would be a great wedding gift, by the way.
That it would. Tony Stewart on track in the Mobil 1 Chevrolet.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whew. Man, I thought that thing was gone.
He almost had that thing down on the apron, below the line.
Stewart has a second place start, and a second place finish here. Got a little work to do here.
Yeah,
7th in practice.
I would probably describe that as just a little evil.
Yeah, 11th, an identical lap to Trevor Bayne. 28.950.
When 2 drivers tie out to the thousandths, the tiebreaker is whichever driver is highest in the points at that time.
Now, Trevor Bayne would be higher in points, but he's not running for Sprint Cup points. So Stewart would get the spot, and the second lap will be a little slower.
Watch this thing, Mike. This is as close to wrecking as you're going to get and not wreck. Cause
he hauled it down in there, didn't he?
He did.
Welcome back. Now, the reason Tony Stewart will start ahead of Trevor Bayne with identical times is not because of driver points. It's car owner points. And for the first 5 races, we used last year's car owner points. Stewart's 14 was ahead of the Wood Brothers 21 in final standings. So Stewart will start ahead of Bayne. Here is Marcus Ambrose in the Stanley. Woo, Stanley DeWalt Ford, and he's on a flyer.
Yes, he is.
It's a good one.
He was 6th quickest in practice, and he'll go to the top.
Did it. 28.69.
All right, P1. There you go. 28.69. Good job. That's what I'm talking about.
And, you know, Todd Parrott, that wasn't by micro.
Boys, awesome feeling. Just a great car, great teamwork, great team. Let's not get carried away. We've got a long race on Sunday, but
Now, he didn't do that by micro or nanoseconds. He was a full 1/10 of a second quicker than Kyle Busch.
Dale Jarrett won the pole here. Maybe the first time we came, and Todd was his crew chief.
We have now topped 188 miles an hour, and that's average around this 1.5-mile racetrack.
I think. I think. Maybe they reverted back to last year's car owner points.
And we're 8/100ths off the track record as we move into the Fast 5. From the early practice, here is the car that they hope sticks. It's the Post-it Notes Ford for Greg Biffle. The Biff has a pole here. And 1 top 5 finish.
Well, so for the prediction, that's not necessarily a Roush in-house car, but certainly that's a Roush supported car.
Greg made sure he did not overdrive 1 and 2, and he was able to carry that speed down the back straightaway. I don't know if it's going to beat Ambrose, but it's going to be close.
I think he got a little high off of turn 4.
Second with a 28.72. He misses the pole by 3/100ths.
I think it was turn 4 down here. He got a little high getting out of that corner.
Marcus Ambrose climbs out. He's on the pole at the moment.
See, this is what Marcos was hoping for. He wants to have some success on ovals too.
Download the free Speed app for your phone. Keep speed at your fingertips and fuel your passion for NASCAR between events with Speed on your phone. Latest stats, results, and news as soon as it's available. Download the app from iTunes or the Android market now. And then there were 4. Carl Edwards started outside pole here in 2008 and won it, not letting any grass grow under his number 99 Ford.
And this is where they start breaking the track record. From here on.
I'd say that's a pretty safe statement.
The Scotch Ford
204.
Whoa.
Hello. And he got through there really sweet.
Last week's pole sitter.
Big number down the back. Let's see what he's got going into 3.
Darrell, he lost a little bit in turn 2, though. Just didn't quite take the speed there.
Marcus Ambrose looking at the monitor as the tracker slips one spot. Did he get it? No. 28.70.
Oh.
Edwards is second.
Look at this. Look at Marcus. Look at the smile on Marcus.
6 1,000ths of a second. Right.
Looks like a contestant on The Price is Right. He's waiting to see. What do you think, Matt?
He asked me when it ran. I told him, he goes, what's that mean? I said, that means you're still on the pole at this juncture.
Look, I'm just so proud of my Stanley team. Everyone's just doing a great job, and Richard Petty for having the faith to put me in this car. You know, I've been under a lot of pressure. We started Daytona really badly, and I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity. It's just a dream come true, and you know, we're out here, we're winging it, we're doing fast speeds. It's my first time in this car for a 1.5 mile racetrack. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, mate. And, you know, just a fantastic car. Todd Parrott's done an awesome job on the top of the box there for me. And don't know if it'll stick. It doesn't matter, man. I'm so proud of my guys, so proud of our effort. And we've got a long race Sunday, but it's going to help a lot starting near the front.
Now, Carl Edwards did run a second lap, but he was 12/100ths slower on lap 2. Here's his exit at turn 4, Darrell.
Watch his hands. See all up on the wheel, and man, that's a lot of correction right there. That's that late exit. What that is, that's called push loose. You've got wheel in it, turning, and once the front bites, the back snaps.
That lap, though, would have been good enough for 5th, and he ran with it doing all of those things.
Trying to spoil the Ford Fan Fest at the front is Juan Pablo Montoya in the Clorox Chevrolet of Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates.
Now, this is a typical line for Juan. He usually likes to run high up in the corners. Most of the time, everybody else will be around the bottom. He'll find a high line that works for him. And then he'll bring it to the bottom on this end and kind of run down the hill a little bit.
But just not a good run at all, Mike.
No, he looks loose off the corner.
Not working on the stopwatch. Montoya is 22nd with a 29.03. Now, again, that's only 0.3 off the pole, but it's 22nd place. Not a great lap for the Clorox Chevy.
He'd be really unhappy with that, I think.
Now, watch Carl Edwards pull in and watch Marcus Ambrose Marcos. Hello, excuse me, pardon me. Boom. Yeah, you had to see that one again. That's a couple good friends right there.
Again, 6 1,000ths of a second.
2 drivers to go among the top 35. And one of them laid down the second fastest lap of practice. That would be David Reagan in the UPS Ford. He's never had a top 10 qualifying run here, but he was fast in practice.
Somebody asked me, you know, why are we seeing these track records? What have they done? I think it's a combination of things. It's the nose. It's giving the cars a little bit better balance.
Oh, Reagan loses it.
Oh, no.
And saves it.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
You got to give him credit. He was going for it.
about that, guys. Damn, that was fun.
Darrell, he never stopped driving it, and he saved that race car.
Oh, he's got to take it easy coming back to the garage, or
You
he'll
can see all the tires are flat.
tear the fenders off that thing with those tires.
You hear the reception he got from Motorhome Row back there.
Gets to bouncing just a little bit, and even though it takes this long, he gets high off that corner. Saw the little dust flap behind the rear tires, and then here I thought he was going to nose it in the outside wall. What an amazing job. Brake, you see the tires turning, they're off the brake, on the brake. Really good car control.
But you know what? A tip of the hat to the racetrack for all of that asphalt in that runoff area back there. If that had been grass, it'd have been Katie bar the door.
Yeah, he just got up too high there and got into that kind of loose stuff. You saw the dust, and then watch him lock the wheels up. Let it off a little back up there. He had to work the brake. Nice job of saving it. It's too high right there.
Yep, you could see the dust flying.
No grip up there. And David Reagan did not post a qualifying time and will start in the back on Sunday.
4
However,
fresh tires needed.
He'll be able to use this race car, which he knows is fast. Hard to follow that up with this promo, but how do you stage a Hollywood mega crash? Tune in Wednesday when Car Science breaks down the science of stunt driving. Turn off the traction control and hit the gas for an all-new Car Science Wednesday at 10 Eastern on Speed. Here's how you avoid a mega crash right here.
Watch what I'm talking about now. He gets the thing out from under him right here. Now watch, he's going to get on the brakes, locks it down, lets it loose, locks it down, and rides it out.
Never quit driving it, did he?
No, sir.
All right, the fastest man in practice is yet to go, and then the go or go homers will make their qualifying attempts. Matt?
Carl Edwards still messing with Marcos Ambrose as he does other interviews. I really don't want to say it. I should say maybe 6/10 you missed a pole by, but
Yeah,
6
right.
without some mistake.
I wish it was 6/10. I left a lot more than 6/1000s out there, but that's what's tough about qualifying right now. You don't know how hard to go. Marcos did a great job. So right now it's either second to Marcos or third to Marcos and Matt, I guess. But you never know, those guys going out later might be fast too. But just awesome for a Scott's Easy Seat Fusion. But yeah, 6/1000s, boy, it's gonna be a hard night tonight to go to sleep. That's a fast race car, and I have a sense that it's a Ford that might be in victory lane here on Sunday, though. That's good.
We've seen it here before.
You know, Mike, we don't need to discount those 9 guys like J.J. Yaley that'll be going out as a go or go homer, but when you're only sending 1 car home, those guys, they just need to make sure they don't do the same thing that David Reagan in that 6 car just did.
Right, and not only that, Larry, but the fastest go or go homer was 30th overall in the practice session. So as David Reagan gets a polite golf clap from the crowd, it's down to Matt Kenseth versus Marcos Ambrose for the pole.
Well, theoretically, if we're going to have a track record, this is the guy that's going to have to do it. Theoretically.
Matt's never had a front row start in Las Vegas. He does have back-to-back wins here in 2003 and 4.
Now, Ambrose picked up 4/10 from what he ran in practice earlier today.
Now, Matt Kenseth has won 2 poles in nationwide series races here. He was easy into turn 1 and picks it up off the corner.
You saw that 185 right there. Just remember, that's the area where David Reagan lost his race car at 185 miles an hour.
Pretty steamy into 200 mile an hour right there.
He's got it by a 10th.
Looking pretty good
here. Here he comes, the Crown Royal Ford Fusion, the man from Wisconsin, Matt Kenseth. Bingo! It's a new track record!
Yay! I knew they'd do it.
Bailed us out, D-Dub.
I knew they'd do it.
Woohoo! Yeah, you're pretty good there, Jimmy. Good adjustments. Thanks for that, Boga. Thanks for that, Nick.
How about that? Oh, even Marcus has got to be happy for him.
When you get beat by a 10th, you know what? It's not a whole lot you can say about it.
There's your new track record holder, Matt Kenseth. Hey, go or go home qualifying coming up next. Welcome back to Las Vegas, where Matt Kenseth has just broken the track record set by Kurt Busch last year, and we move into knockout qualifying. From slowest to fastest in practice, we begin with Brian Keselowski's number 92 Dodge. Now, Brian was the slowest of 44 drivers in practice, had a 30.614. He made the show in Daytona with a push from little brother during his 150-mile dual race. Missed the show last week at Phoenix. Let's see if he's found some speed in this Dodge. First lap, not the slowest of the day, 30.208.
That's a big pickup from his practice. He was a 30.7, I believe it was, in practice. So felt like he was holding a little something just based on how he practiced.
All you'll have to do is, if you just beat one car, you know you'll race on Sunday of these go-or-go-homers.
Well, he was sitting right on top of, there were 3 of them at the bottom of the sheet there that were real close together, and that lap there may be just good enough to do it.
Trying for 2 in what's entered as the MGM Dodge and MGM Grand Dodge, and he's quicker, 30.05.
I think he got that first one in there safely. Said that felt pretty good. I'm gonna go for some more. I tell you, that's 30.05. It's not a bad lap.
No, it's not.
Must have been that little lion on the rear quarter panel. There's Doug Yates with Matt Kenseth. It's a man who puts the power under the hood.
I believe I saw back in the background there Carl's husband and wife couple that he helped get married off there.
The newlyweds.
The newlyweds.
Yeah. Well, maybe outside pole, you know, wouldn't be, well, third wouldn't be bad, you know, as a wedding present. It's still a good omen, right? Here's Michael McDowell, got a little bit of practice, not a lot, in his number 66. Phil Parsons, Randy Humphrey's car. Glendale, Arizona driver trying to time his way in and make his second Vegas Cup race.
Now, Brian Keselowski and Michael McDowell, they were the only 2 cars that didn't make it down to the 29-second bracket in practice earlier. Looks like Michael's just going to be a little bit quicker than Keselowski.
Keselowski's 33rd right now, and McDowell will race on Sunday. 29.708, 31st overall. And Keselowski stays on the hot seat. So good lap for McDowell. Next up will be Bill Elliott, who we know will race on Sunday. He has the past champs provisional available if needed.
Certainly Bill's capable of putting down a good lap.
Yep. He has a 4th place start and a 4th place finish here in Vegas.
Just since he knows he's in the show, I think he'll probably approach us a little on the conservative side.
Driving for James Finch in the Rydex Chevrolet.
You know, something that blew my mind that I read this week, we know that Bill has been running limited schedule here of late, but his last top 5 finish was a win at Rockingham in November of 2003.
Wow.
His last top 5.
I'll never forget when he was driving for Ray Abraham at Homestead race.
Yes.
Had that race won, white flag, blew the right rear tire out.
When they interviewed him.
The car was sitting there, the right rear tire was on fire, and they asked Bill what he thought. He said, I was thinking about dumping some gas on it.
When we first came here to Vegas in '98, Bill started 4th, finished 9th. He won't need that provisional. He's the quickest go-homer at a 29.67.
Tell you what, that car is doing a dance through those bumps.
He's in.
I think I'd probably just shut her down, Bill. Bill? Come in, Bill.
Yeah, he's busy. He's awful busy, Darrell, with that steering wheel.
Must have unplugged his radio.
Yep. Second lap is slower by 0.2. We're in knockout qualifying. Next is Landon Castle and Dave Blaney. Six cars to go in knockout qualifying. 1 driver to go home. Brian Keselowski on the hot seat. And here is Landon Castle in the big red Toyota. He has 4 starts on 1.5-mile tracks in the Sprint Cup Series, but none here. 16 Cup starts last year with 3 different teams. Made the show at Phoenix, but finished 38th.
Told the story last week. Landon told me at Phoenix that what he has figured out how he needs to go about this is he's taken the iRacing program and he's put a qualifying program in it and will work on it for 4 to 6 hours before coming to a racetrack each week, knowing he's going to have to qualify on time.
Now he did something interesting there getting into 3, Darrell. He was completely out of the throttle going into 3. But recovers nicely, and he is now the fastest go homer. Landon Castle, 29.65. He will race on Sunday.
Yeah, that's really the way to approach that corner. Drive it in there, get out of it, and then get right back in it wide open and try to run wide open all the way through the corner. If you can do that, you're going to go fast.
Second lap will be slower. And he got the message.
Once you go in, if you overdrive turn 3 and you get the car sliding up the track, you've killed your whole lap. But if you can get it in there and get it set and you can run the bottom of the corner right around that white line, then you're going to have a good lap.
So Landon Castle is in. And we move to Dave Blaney. There was a report during practice that Blaney had brushed the wall, but we saw no damage on his car, the Axel Construction Chevrolet of Tommy Baldwin. Now Blaney has 1 top 10 start and 2 top 15 finishes here. Former World of Outlaws champ and known throughout his Cup career as a strong qualifier.
Always figures out how to find a little bit extra. You can see flirting with inside the top 25. It fell back a little bit off the exit of turn 2. It's like all of our go homers right now are almost bunched right together at a 65, a 67, and a 70. Castle, Elliott, and McDowell. And that's about where Dave Blaney's going to be, right there on top of those guys.
Yep. Pretty much.
He's the quickest so far of the go homers, 30th overall with a 29.50. And he will race on Sunday. Brian Keselowski remains on the hot seat.
I guarantee you, owner Tommy Baldwin was on the radio right there.
Yeah, he's going, okay, back it down.
Lost a car last week in practice at Phoenix.
Yeah, they ended up having to run this car at Phoenix. It was their backup for Phoenix and primary and backup for here because they did not return to North Carolina between the 2 races, as many of the teams did. Front row, Joe Nemechek has a front row start here. The second time we came to Las Vegas, or excuse me, a second row start. He qualified 3rd. That's his best here. And he has 2 top 10 finishes here. Somehow second row Joe doesn't sound as elegant.
There's a cat in the hat. Congratulating Matt on a great run.
I mean, it's been almost 2 years since Matt sat on a pole. Darlington back in May of '09.
Yeah, Matt's strong. Matt's always been the strongest coming from the rear of the field. I mean, you know, if he qualified in the top 20, he was feeling really good. And if normally it was 25 to 30, and he'd still find his way to the front most of the time.
Joe Nemechek had trouble in the Nationwide Series, crashed his car in practice, and found that his backup car, which he had lent to Kevin Conway, he could not reclaim as a backup because it had already gone through inspection as the 97. They couldn't change it back into an 87. But you put that out of your mind and you qualify this car 29th fastest, 29.27. Joe Nemechek is fastest of the go homers, and he will race on Sunday.
I mean, he's sitting there and he's qualified with this car with no sponsorship support right there around Dale Earnhardt Jr., Casey Kane, Boyer, Harvick. I mean, this group just gets a little money to race on. They'd probably be amazed at what they could do.
Good point.
Yeah, because there's a telltale sign about what his plan is for tomorrow. And all you got to do is look right over that right rear tire. There's nothing there, and that's what he'll do tomorrow. He can only afford to most likely start this race and park.
J.J. Yaley next up. Former midget, sprint car, and IndyCar star. carrying Darlington Raceway on the hood of his number 46. He's had 3 Cup starts here in Las Vegas. 1 top 15 start, 2 top 20 finishes.
Big couple of months coming up for Darlington. The Cup cars are off next week. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series will be there next Saturday night. Of course, it'll be on speed, and we're there May 7th with the Cup race, Southern 500.
That's turned out to be a great weekend for them. Since they lost the Southern 500, having that race on Mother's Day weekend has turned out to be actually a pretty good deal.
Gailey will be second fastest among the Go Homers, 29:31. So he will race on Sunday, and Brian Keselowski remains on the hot seat with 2 drivers left to qualify. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying in Las Vegas brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. By Allstate, dollar for dollar, nobody protects riders like Allstate. Are you in good hands? And by Tornadoes, bold is how we roll. Mike Skinner, former champion of what is now the Camping World Truck Series, has 2 truck wins here, 3 poles in the Truck Series, and he's going to try to put Frank Stoddard's car into the show for the 2nd week in a row.
I normally can understand drivers when they speak with their hands and make motions and gestures, but I just saw Matt Kenseth. I have no earthly idea
what he was describing.
What he was describing.
I don't either, but he was talking with Matt Yoakum.
That might tell you something.
The U.S. Chrome Ford for Mike Skinner. The Southern Pride machine clocks in quickest among the Go Homers, 29:23, 28th overall. Now, they were here last week at Phoenix to run the whole race and did. Top 25 finish.
Now, you tell me, Larry.
Okay. That's goggles or a viewfinder. Turn it that way, turn it that way. Nah.
Focus, focus. And that's, I still couldn't see it.
No, I don't
still don't know what it was. So I looked again. I think that's what he was seeing when he went across those bumps, Mike. My eyes were going this way, my eyes were going that way.
Well, that could be.
Car was going jibbity, jibbity, jibbity. I don't know what was going on.
I think we'll find out here in just about a minute. Casey Mears will be the final car to qualify in the Geico Toyota. He was the fastest Go Homer, 30th overall, but already 2 drivers in this group have qualified in the top 30. Casey has 3 top 10 finishes here.
Missed the Daytona 500, but came to Phoenix, fastest of the Go Homers in qualifying, got him a top 20 finish out of it, and actually had to recover from some damage he received in one of those wrecks on the backstretch.
10 different drivers have held the pole position today. And this is a good-looking lap for Casey Mears. He could be the quickest of this group.
I believe he will.
Beat Mike Skinner by 1 spot. 27th for Mears, beats him by 2, 29:15. He is the quickest of the cars not locked into the field. And it means that Brian Keselowski is the one driver who goes home today disappointed in Las Vegas.
Brian put up a great lap, though, for where he was in practice.
The front 4 drove Fords: Kenseth, Ambrose, Edwards, and Biffle. Matt is with the new track record holder.
A new track record for his racing resume, and yes, this is Matt Kenseth. Congratulations.
Thanks. We get one about every 3 years, you know, whether we deserve it or not. But seriously, we had a real fast car, obviously, for me to be able to sit in the pole. We really need to thank Jimmy and my engineers, Mike and Nick. They've really been trying to, you know, think out of the box and think of some stuff for qualifying to get me to qualify a little bit better, because I'm kind of usually the weak link. So this is about as nervous I've been for qualifying for about probably 5 years, because I knew he had a shot at the pole, and I was just praying that I wasn't going to be the weak link and mess it up like I did last week. So them guys did a great job, and it feels good to get a good lap in.
And that's a lot of pressure on this new format, knowing you were P1 in practice and sitting there seeing fast car go after fast car.
Yeah, I mean, you either back it up and they're like, oh, okay, well, you had the fastest car, or else you're the GOAT that runs 20th after the fastest in practice. So I haven't been the fastest in practice very many times, but I usually don't like it because there's nowhere to go but backwards. Either back it up or you mess it up. So I was glad I was able to get a good lap. And like I say, the car was flawless. Had a ton of speed since we got here, and I really also need to thank Doug Yates and the engine shop. All the Fords are right up front, and without our motors being that much better, I don't think we'd be there. So they've done a really good job of giving us even more power again this year, and I'm really excited for the season.
He'll chase his third Vegas win on Sunday.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Kenseth, the track record holder and pole sitter. Marcus Ambrose on the outside, and Carl Edwards, best man earlier today and a bridesmaid in qualifying. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Matt Kenseth is the new track record holder and the pole sitter for Sunday's Kobalt Tools 400. We understand that due to a problem in the delivery of our signal, some of you did not see Matt Kenseth's record run, so we'll show it to you.
I'd like to see it again. Pretty smooth lap.
Little high entry and late arc, Darrell, there into turn one.
Just trying to miss those bumps, and he did a nice job. He's right on the edge, left tires right over the edge of them. Carried maximum speed in there, got back in it wide open. Here's where he made time, though. Got that thing right on that white line. She's digging right here, boys.
Working that wheel a little bit.
Just tweaking it. Tweaking that bad boy just a little bit, trimming it out.
Now, listen for the eights. If you're wondering what number to play this evening and you hear that crowd, 28.58 seconds, 188.88 miles per hour. If you need a number for tonight, I think I got one.
Does anybody here drive 88 that we know of?
Well, I just, 17. 1 and 7 is 8. His number's 17. 1 and 7 is 8. I got a feeling. And he's got the pole. Marcus Ambrose, great run for Ambrose. He's on the outside pole. Carl and Greg make it a Ford foursome at the front.
You got the feeling, and he's got the power.
That's right.
Yeah, we only had 2 Chevrolets in the top 10. Newman is 8th. Mark Martin is 10th.
Quickest Toyota was Kyle Busch. The fastest Dodge back in 20th, Brad Keselowski.
Sort of broke the Busch brothers stranglehold on the pole here.
Yep.
Speaking of the Busch brothers, Kurt Busch never started outside the top 10 here in 10 races. Won't happen when he drops green on Sunday.
Fastest score go homer, Casey Mears, followed by Mike Skinner.
Well, RCR group's got some work to do way back there in row 13 and 14.
Sure did.
Speaking of the 88.
Yeah, there he is.
Speaking of work to do.
That's the guy that's got work to do, but if the numbers mean anything, Mike, 88.
I said 8, not 88. That's all right. And at the back, David Reagan disappointed after a great practice run with Michael McDowell, and Brian Keselowski will be the one car going home.
I think I just saw Hammond going over that mountain.
You see a goat?
Or over the hill?
No. Krista.
Well, this season has already had highs and lows for Casey Mears. Today's a high. You were the fastest of the go or go home cars. Is that an extra boost of confidence for this race team?
You know, I mean, it is. It means it's good to be the fastest go or go home guy, but at the same time, we're setting our goals higher than that. You know, we want to be better. And 27th, going out this late, we hope to be a lot better than that. But definitely feels good to be in. You know, after missing Daytona, every race that we make is a big deal. So real happy that the Geico Toyota performed well enough to get in. Felt really good about how it was in race trim, which is good too. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow to refining that. And you can blame Jimmy for my scruff here. I got up and worked out with him this morning. I thought we were going to go back to the hotel and then come to the track, and he wanted to go straight to the track, so I got some scruff.
But as I say, now you may have to keep it, though. It made you pretty fast out there.
Yeah, I might run it through the weekend, see what happens.
What do you guys work on in practice tomorrow now?
We just want to refine it. You know, I feel like the Geico Toyota was really good. The balance was good. We couldn't run a real fast lap, but we were just a little bit tight. We kind of chipped away at it, got better. We got some ideas to start and a little bit freer for tomorrow, and you know, hopefully from there have a good race car. Really, really happy with the performance that the guys gave me in Phoenix. The pit crew, everybody did a great job battling back from that incident that we had and got involved in, and you know, hopefully gonna have another solid day.
All right, thanks. Casey's in the race on Sunday.
Yeah, he'll start 27th. Our coverage of NASCAR's weekend in Las Vegas continues tomorrow on Speed. Final practice for the Sprint Cup Series. Sunday begins with NASCAR Race Day on Speed. Then you'll find the Kobalt Tools 400 on Fox beginning at 2:30 Eastern Time, followed by NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed as our coverage continues all weekend long on Speed and on Fox.
You know, thinking back to David Reagan, certainly not the magnitude of 2 weekends ago, but once again, he's going to leave the racetrack thinking, what if I could have made that lap, being second fastest in practice?
I think the kid's under a lot of pressure. It's a big year for him, and I think he's under a lot of pressure.
So Matt Kenseth is the second Roush driver to win a pole in the Sprint Cup Series here. He becomes the 10th different pole winner at Las Vegas. Here's another look at what happened to David Reagan.
Just got up too high. You can see the dust flying, and once he got up there, no grip. The back end came around. Have to give him A for effort, though, hanging on to it, keeping it out of the fence. That's a plus.
In the end, a nice save, but it means that Reagan will start at the back of the pack.
So what will our news story be coming out of this weekend, considering our first 2 weekends of racing?
Hey, I'm going to go down and do trackside, guys. Harry Gant, Kurt Busch tonight. Big show, really big show.
Well, let's see tomorrow night. Eric Clapton or George Thorogood, or maybe an early night on the pillow. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Sprint Cup practice tomorrow on Speed, and we'll see you for the Kobalt Tools 400 Sunday on Fox. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations to Matt Kenseth.